and tell them we're going, and we'll just start the conversation from there. Because see, as I told you in the background when I spoke to Jerry, we're actually live now. Okay. Welcome
Great.
to another Ring 10 Wednesday or Major Key Boxing, where we are speaking on what boxing needs right now, which is a national commission and a union, and we're going to talk about some processes of how to go about doing that, as well as we have a good panel here. We have Jerry Cooney, Hall of Famer Jerry Cooney. We have Richard Burton, right?
Yes, sir.
And then we have the trainer Aaron Snowell. Say what's up, sir.
All right.
All right. So
Hey, Aaron.
I want Jerry to start it off, and right there, that's the man we're waiting on. That's form Rich and his name is for y'all. He's gonna jump in, but Jerry, you were saying something before.
Wow,
You're breaking up. We can hardly hear you.
You're breaking up.
You got me?
Can't hear you.
Okay. All right. All right. How about now?
Better.
Much better.
Better.
Okay. Yeah, Jerry, you were saying something about the process of how to get these things done, or you were just explaining what FIST was.
Well, we formed a foundation to help guys get back into the mainstream of life. Now, that entails, you know, job ready. It involves, spousal problems, children problems, you know. Plus, the fighter never learned how to take care of himself, most of them, because they've had these managers that pay their bills, they pay the rent, and they want it that way, so the fighter has to keep fighting. And the problem is, the bottom line is that most fighters end up broke when the game is over, and they haven't developed any other skills except fighting. So you stay in the game and you want to become champion, then you're going to become a contender, then you become a sparring partner. Do you understand? We have to stop that. These guys are much too great athletes, and we need to find a way to develop these guys, get a foundation, or someone's talking about union. I mean, that's not, if they can do it. But basically, my thought is, if you got to pay dues, most fighters can't afford it. The guys that can afford it, they don't need it. So we have to find another way. And I always thought about if they took $1 for every for every fight that takes place around this America, and they put it into a foundation, you could pay for everybody's education, their marital problems, their children's problems, and they'd find work and be happy in the next leg of their lives. We can't hear anybody. Was I breaking up there, guys?
No, 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 no.
You
You still
clear.
having a
You're
problem
clear.
hearing me?
Yes, you're
Hold
breaking
on a
up.
second. Yeah, yeah. Hold, Aaron, go ahead and speak now. Let me see.
You're
I
having a
can't
little
hear
trouble.
anybody.
Hey, Mr. Burton, how you doing?
Hey, Mr. Ferrego, how you doing? You look kind of sharp in that sweater there.
You look sharp in that white shirt there.
I wonder if I could borrow the sweater from you.
Am I supposed to say, can I borrow that shirt from you? Uh, how you been? You good? You okay?
I'm doing fine. Yes, I'm doing fine.
Good. I'm glad. We lost Troy, huh?
Yeah.
It looks that way.
Anyway,
Gary,
why don't you guys
I
give
still haven't.
your what you guys feel about the boxing world and what happens to fighters? They're used up and thrown away. That's been my experience.
Well,
That's what happens to the guys, and it's very sad commentary.
Gary, we've been.
I think it's very. I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible.
Yeah.
That the majority. I mean, maybe 90, 98, 97% of the boxers go through the same thing.
Yep.
After they retire, they have to get a job, or they can't support themselves. They have to be, getting help from friends or family members after they make all this money because they're not taught how to save, and
Yeah, but Rich,
to put your money away.
Rich, unfortunately, the majority of the money, majority of fighters don't make money, don't make enough money.
Absolutely.
They don't live
Well,
on
now they do.
Well, no, don't mess that up. It's the few at the top. So everybody thinks, oh man, if you're making $1 million, that guy's gonna be making what, $50,000, $100,000. You know that those guys on the undercard make nothing, relatively nothing, correct? So you know that money. I never
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
that because they see Mayweather making 100 million. So Matt, you must have made what, a couple million a fight? How much? Maybe $1 million? No, not even close. Not even close.
Absolutely.
People,
Same with me, but I was just fortunate I could do something else.
Everybody, I hear you right now.
Troy.
Trying to get into a better place. Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, go ahead,
All right,
Matt. You
Troy,
were
we
saying
got you,
something,
bro.
Matt. Okay, good. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Miss Thunder Robinson just came in the room, so she's from Baltimore. She's a gym owner and a trainer. Everybody say hello, Miss Thunder Robinson. And Matt,
How
we're
you doing, man?
right in the middle of something. So go ahead and finish, Matt.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the union and the sport of boxing. People don't realize it, but baseball is a union. Basketball is a union. Football is a union. Tennis is a union. Golf is a union. Boxing's they're not a union. Really, that sport's not a union. That's correct. So you explain that to the common folks, they don't understand. Yeah, but they make a lot of money when they're on TV. No,
that's not what happens.
No, they don't.
We know that,
and that's gross. So now you got your manager's going to take a third of that. You got your trainer that's going to take a bunch of that. You got bills to pay, and then Uncle Sam is going to say, "Hey, Matt, they want their money too, right?" So what is
they
this?
tax you.
Nothing, relatively nothing. That's what people don't.
All right, so we understand that's the problem. How do you fix it, Matt Farrago?
That is. It has
right.
It has to be unionized at some point. I've spoken to the Teamsters. I'm trying to piggyback off their union. That is the only way that I know. If anybody had a better idea, I would love to hear it. But there has to be a union for the box.
Hey, Matt, can I say something? 99% of fighters don't make anything. They can't afford the dues. They can't afford what it takes to support themselves in a union, much less learn a trade. And we have to find a way to get these guys educated start out with the commissions and go to the commission and find out what you're signing. What does it mean? What are your options? How long is the contract for? And then you have to prepare them for a future. Because we got kids, we got all these different problems, but no money to pay the bills. So now the wife and the husband are fighting. No one's getting along. I talked about it before, and I spoke about if they put $1 from every ticket in the United States per fight, $1 per ticket in a foundation, and let it build up, then we'd have no problems. See, the government doesn't want to be involved. We're independent contractors, and they did that for a reason, so they don't have to get their hands dirty. So they sign for a little health insurance, and then we're on our own. That's boxing.
And that's a part of the problem.
It's not football. It's not baseball. It's not basketball. Those are giant money makers. Boxing's not. Very few in boxing.
Well, you have to give it some thought.
Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
Here's the fruitful thought that you have to look at. Boxing gets its revenue from TV. The promoters sign up fighters. Then they take the fighters they sign up and go to the TV networks to cut TV deals. Like Bob Arum, Don King has done it and does it. Bob Arum does it. Al Heyman does it. The biggest and the latest one is Hearns. So, being that you're signing a TV contract and you use these fighters' names, somewhere along the line, the fighters fall in with the promoter and the TV contract. Somewhere along the line, the pensions have to come through the TV, like actors, producers, all of that are in a guild that has to deal with TV, and that's how they get pensions. They get a certain pay rate, all of that. And
But the problem,
these
Hold on a second,
promoters
Jared.
that go to the TV network, they have a responsibility, and so does the TV networks. Don't
Okay.
let the TV networks go off the hook. The TV networks have a fiduciary right too.
Right.
And they
Listen.
are the ones who are putting up the money. Now, when you deal with film that's aired on TV, there's a certain pay rate through television. Same way with boxing. That's where the money is generated, and those networks are going to have to form some type of pension plan for sport.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Now,
It
Jerry,
doesn't make sense because there's only
No, hold on,
2%
Jerry. I know you
that the
want-
television is signing
Hold on,
contracts for.
hold on,
2% of fighters, 98% are down in the bottom.
Hold on, y'all. Okay, listen, Jerry and Aaron. I just need you to hold on for a second. Aaron, go ahead and finish your thought, and then after that, Thunder, I know you had something to say, so you step in, and then Aaron, you come back on after that.
Ford Motor Company is the big conglomerate. Just like CBS for television, they have changed the names, but CBS, ABC, Showtime, or their system parent company, HBO or Showtime. Ford Motor Company has unions. That's the way it's structured.
Yeah, but they
The
pay
workers,
every month.
because they earn a salary, earn a certain pay rate, just like boxers do. If you can't carry the TV network, their rating 3.0, they ain't gonna let too many fighters fight on there too often. If you can hold their TV network that rating, then you're able to be a TV fighter. And that's the nuts and bolts of the game.
Who is it?
So you gotta look at TV and don't let TV off the hook, because that's where the money's coming from.
Well, I agree with you.
Go ahead,
That
Thunder.
is where the money comes
Go ahead.
from. The money is coming from the network. But the thing, even before we even get to the network, we have these boxers. We have everybody that has this plan of action. But nobody, the union begins with us coming together and putting down a plan. Everybody talking about different methods. Because I believe in the one with just like the Screen Actors Guild. Everybody is not a George Clooney. Everybody is not what is another actor or actress. You have the low lines that just come in and do bit parts, but they still get if we base it somewhere like that, because every fighter that fight is not a $1 million fighter, but they are still suffering as they get older. They still taking them same hits, and so why shouldn't they get a part of something? The dollar for every ticket that sold sounds good, but the only way we can even get to that point of even getting $1 from every ticket sold, so that we can have money for the guys when they retire, or when they injured, or when they're in the hospital, or when they're on bad health. And that's if everybody that's voicing these opinions share their material, so we can come together. Because nobody wants to share. I talk to boxers all the time. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll support you. What about the fight that's coming up Friday? I mean, what are we going to do there? Do we open up a bucket and ask for some donations? If we don't start doing something, here we go. We're going to go again. Another 100 years, 50 years, 20 years, where the fighters that have been in that ring and had the same daggone, just like who is it? When you take the hit nail, suffering from different head injuries, can't speak, can't talk. Only a few survived them hits, but they should have a retirement from boxing. I mean,
agree.
I'm hearing everybody talk,
Mhm.
but nobody's coming together to actually sit down and put a plan together so that
Mhm.
these guys can start getting paid. We have our older fighters that are suffering right now. We have our older fighters that need help with everything. And yes, we just gurgitating the same thing over and over again. At some point, come on now. Y'all men, my men, come on.
That's right. Richard,
Okay.
Richard, go ahead. Go ahead, Richard, because I know you have
I
something to say.
agree.
Go ahead.
I agree with it, with exactly what you're saying. I agree with everything because thank God I haven't been hurt that bad where I can't still speak and can't work and can't do something. But after all those years in boxing, it would be fair for me to retire, and we can't retire because we're not making the kind of money that, like you said, the small percentage of the guys are. And then, like you said, everybody's talking about, yeah, let's get a boxing organization, but nobody's really stepping up. There's been talk since I've been in boxing, and I've been in boxing since I was 8 years old. I've been hearing this.
And that's a sad daggone thing. And it's because everybody want to keep what they have as a secret. And this is just from listening to
Yeah,
all the different people that have come on the panel. Everybody want to keep what they have as a secret. I mean, either you're going to share your
No more,
information and get it out there
no more
so
time
that
for that.
everybody
No
can
more
know.
time for that.
Yeah, but they keeping it as a secret. Let's pull it together. Meet up, do
Hmm.
something, because every day we have fatties out. Oh, we got to respect the ones that's coming up, that's being injured along the way. We have to understand that our retired boxers, the boxers that we want to retire, they can't because they try to do something, and at that point they can't from the injuries that has taken place. I mean, I want to hear what we're going to do tomorrow. I mean, like you
right now
said,
is more like it.
another
Right,
20
right.
years, another
Uh-huh.
Okay.
10
We're gonna take
years.
Yeah.
we're gonna
So
take it
so
back
I
to
I agree with
so
what you're saying, but
hold
what
on a
I'm
second
trying
real
to
quick,
tell
and then
you
we're gonna take it
guys,
back to Jerry. Then after
let
Jerry is Matt and then Aaron.
let me just tell you the,
Go
the,
ahead,
the,
Jerry.
the real story, guys. Those companies, they have high lawyers, high firm lawyer legal fees. I mean, they have great lawyers that protect them. We as an individual, we can't support that. Years
That's
ago,
right.
Don King, he was kind of really raping and robbing everybody until 10 lawyers got together and they fought him and they broke him. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, listen, the problem is that the guys that fight on Showtime and, the Zone and PBC, all those things, that's 1% of fighters. That's who they're signing. They're not signing the club fighters. They're not signing the sparring partners. They're just not doing it. And the government does not want to get involved. And if we give $1 from every ticket that's bought in fights around the country, then they're afraid that next year they're going to ask for $2. So they want to fight that. So it's never ending. And we have to listen, you got to fight fire with fire. So we got to get together and put money together and fight the system. Who's going to put the
Then we
money
need
up?
to fight
But
it.
Who puts the money
okay,
up?
but how is okay? But how is the question?
Tyson Fury had
Okay.
Tyson Fury after a big fight. He did a great gesture. He gave most of his purse to the homeless. All right.
Okay.
How about in the 1920s there was a boxing fund set up in San Francisco that was invested in big fights. They did fights, and the revenue that came from it went into a fund. Just say you had a Tyson Fury who has a heart to gender to get the seed money to start a retirement endowment. That retirement endowment that Jerry Cooney's talking about, where $1 off each ticket is great, but it's only one stream or a hedge fund. Hedge funds give donations at the end of the year in the multi-millions. Al Heyman, he got the hedge fund to put up the money for Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. And those guys would rather give 50% of their money to the IRS instead of having a fund that's set up for boxers and give the
No.
50% where they get a dollar for tax break, and then you're helping the cause for other fighters that are downtrodden and poor and the ones left out.
Who's speaking now? Can you tell me who's speaking?
Aaron is, but hold on a second, Jerry, because Matt's next after Aaron, and then he
We
can come
still
back in.
can't see Aaron. We still can't see
Right, because
Aaron.
he's on the phone. He's on the phone, Rich. Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron, are you done?
No, and let me tell you what, everybody on here has the heart. Jerry Cooney goes out and raises money all the time. Matt, all of them, they raise money. They hand it out for fighters. How do I know? I'm not going to mention the fighter's name, but I knew a fighter that was struggling. They helped him out in grand style and grand fashion and put money in his pocket. We all do that because we all got the heart for it. So collectively, if we could have a collective ideal with some financiers that know how to start endowments and things like that, it will work.
That'll
There's no question it'll work.
That'll definitely work. Now, Matt, go ahead and say your piece, Matt. Matt.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, you don't have anything to reply?
I don't have a reply.
Okay. All right, Jerry, you wanted to jump in and say something.
So this all sounds great. And if you haven't been involved in it and tried to get these things done, you would understand it's like fighting against a wall. And these guys struggle. And the story is, here's this real story. We give a man a fish, we feed him for the day. We have to teach him how to fish so we can feed him for life. That's the real deal. Right. But you know what? These fighters are very lazy because their management helped them through the whole process. But now when it's our turn, they want someone to do it for them. And it's a long process to turn it around and get these guys work ready. It's hard.
You know what, Jerry? It sounds like you're saying the same thing Aaron's saying. That's the same thing you're saying, right, Aaron?
No.
Yeah, it's a long process, but they got
no. I'm talking about
you have to team up in a collaborative effort with other things outside of boxing that you team up with in order to help support your needs, such as housing needs, food needs. I'll tell you what we do all the time for kids.
Go ahead.
We teamed up with the local food bank with a nonprofit. They give us food to hand out to stick in a backpack. We feed over 500 and some kids. We don't put up a dime, but we get the food.
We can't give these guys.
Okay, Aaron, right? Aaron, okay, listen. You and Jerry are in similar places, but not the same. Jerry's saying to teach them how to do these things, and they will grow on their own. And you're saying what, Aaron?
Absolutely right about that.
Okay.
That's the point. That's
and what are you saying, though, Aaron? What are you saying?
What I'm saying, you have to get something. You have to clean people up first. Once you clean them up and get them on their way, a hungry man is desperate. He ain't in about thinking. He's just seeing how he gets the food. But once you start feeding it, they get the
Go on mute for me, Thunder, please.
Then you can teach them how to.
You gotta go on mute, Thunder. Go ahead, Aaron.
Then you can teach them how to fish, which is life skills. To see what type of trades they like. All kind of things. The job market is wide open. And what happens to most fighters when they reach a certain level, they're too ashamed to go get a job. It's called a job. Most of them don't want to do that. I was champion of the world. Man, you got to work like everybody else.
Yeah, you got to. But listen, Aaron.
I want to jump in real quick.
Go ahead, Major Key. I was just about to say that. Go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, because I leave this up to you guys. But what I'm hearing is almost like I'm not gonna say that it's like everyone feels defeated, but it sounds a little bit like that. There's different ways, and this is like it's a hard way up. I haven't been in this as long as you guys have. Trust me when I tell you. But let me just present this to you guys. All right. First and foremost, there's no one way to the goal with this. There's no one way.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, we can. To force the hand for the promoters. Remember, you have to have legislation for that, right? So that's the first section, right? But the reason I posted up Boxer's comment here, I suggest fighters open a 401k and a Roth IRA portfolio to start with. Just like when you enter the military, I don't know how many of you guys have been in the military, but when you go in there, they automatically sign you up for an MWR card, right? And that's funded by the government, right? So hold on, Jerry. I see you about to jump in. I got you, my brother. But look, my thing is that there needs to be some kind of education, right? But also at the end of the day, there needs to be a multi-level insurance to back that. And how we fund that can be through different ways, because insurance companies are not just going to jump into this. As far as welfare, when it comes to Social Security, for example, right? That is incentivized by the government. Okay, these private organizations are incentivized by the government. That's why they create these networks. That's why you have your HMOs and your PPOs and stuff like that. This is why you have that, because that government incentivizes these companies to do this. So there's also copays, though. So if they can't afford copays, we need a next level. That's where Medicaid comes into a lot of these places. LIS, which is low income subsidy. There's many different levels that lead up to full coverage for someone, right? But it starts with legislation. So how many of us are talking to our state legislators? That's where the conversation needs to start.
They're independent.
I've spoken
They're
to
independent contractors.
No, but before we do that, hold on, everybody. Before we do that, man, because I hear what you're saying, Major. We have to build it, and they would come,
right?
Which makes a whole lot of sense to me. And then Jerry, you're saying that you should teach them how to grow. I trust me, I agree with that. Aaron, now you're saying that we should get some help. All of this makes sense. All of it
Hold on
makes
one
sense.
second, Troy. Finish your thought. I'm going to remove myself though and allow Bruce to come in, because Bruce is also keen to this.
Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that.
All right.
All of this makes sense. All of this is rational and makes sense. What we have to do is make it work, because once you build something, then you'll actually get the help you need. We can't be telling each other that this won't work. No, it only works when we come together as one. Period.
But you understand how much money this stuff costs?
I understand.
To get done?
I understand. Nothing's impossible in this world. Nothing.
That's
what
kidding?
I understand. Yeah. No, I'm not kidding. I'm as serious as cancer. No. Better yet, I'm as serious as the box in my chest that keeps me alive. That's how serious I am. Yeah.
Well, look,
hey, Troy, if I can, bro.
Hold on, Bruce.
This if a guy is, he's a boxer. He fell on his luck, no place to live. He's homeless. He don't have nothing to eat.
Right.
I think you have to platform it in order, like they do homeless people. They sit them down. They go over the life skills with a questionnaire. They make sure they got ID and stuff like that. And then once they find out things about them, then they start working the things in order to help them lift them out of that situation. And yes, boxing, you can have a community for just boxers, retired boxers who fall out of his health. But the trouble that you find that you have, a guy in California ain't going to want to move to New York, or a guy from New York ain't going to want to move to California. So it has to be where you do these assisted living houses in different states and different places. Once you get them going, if they all the way down at ground zero.
I got you now. Thunder, go ahead and say your piece. After that is Bruce. So go ahead, Thunder.
Well, everything begins with a master plan. And one of the things that Major said, if everybody come together, and because it's one particular thing is not going to be the answer. And I do believe that if we have a plan, everything begins with a plan on paper, and then we start checking it off. The money, everything to get to the legislations, all that'll come, because we can always have a fighting event and raise whatever we need, and fighters will donate. You'll be surprised how many fighters want to donate, and they do, but they don't have no faith in where to donate it to. So we got to start with a written plan. Come together, put a written plan together, and once we got the plan down, then we can put it to action. I can't even talk about what we're doing as a union, trying to get a union together, because I'm not sure. I don't know what to say. I mean, I go to my meetings, I don't know what to say.
Right, because we haven't brainstormed in the first. We haven't brainstormed in the first. Go ahead, Bruce.
Hey man, salute everybody on here, man. You know, it's an honor being on a panel, and I appreciate you giving me the invite, dude. Jerry Cooney, bro, my man, bro. I've been watching you since the '70s, brother, man. You know, I talked to you on a panel before, bro. Just an honor to be on with the mother out there, Jermaine Robinson. An honor to be on here with you too, sister. Richard Burton, Matt. I've talked to you before, Troy, and is that Aaron Davis you got on the phone there, brother?
Aaron Snowell.
Aaron Snow, sorry about that. Trainer Aaron Snow, man. Salute to you, brother. I just checked on and I didn't see a name. But anyway, you know, my point in coming on here was, you know, the United States government, the Social Security, right now, especially right now, they're opening their arms to people. As long as you have a Social Security number, you're eligible for benefits. It doesn't matter now if you have gaps in your work history. I mean, these cats that are administering these benefits, they're our age. They know what's going on out there. You know, you could be an independent contractor. You know, your company's not going to magically overnight put a plan together for you. The government is taking care of its citizens right now. You know, you see it on television. You see, you know, Social Security get Part A, Part D. I'm getting meals delivered to me. I'm getting Section 8 housing. It's available out there. People that I know who are insurance salesmen, that they've actually opened up Mick and brick and mortar walk-in buildings because there's so much business in there now. And I know people who have had no coverage. You know, they were sick and they had no idea these benefits were available. But the thing is, the boxers, anybody, they have to just go out and make that first move. You know, contact the Social Security Administration, and once you get the ball rolling, you'd be surprised. You know, we can, like Jerry said, man. You know, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You know, we can keep these fighters fed until something serious starts happening. And believe me, the federal government, it will take care of its citizens right now. There's money available. You know, they don't want to see people without any kind of income or anything in hospitals, you know, being supported by public on life support. I mean, they want us to be healthy. They're out there, and it doesn't matter if you've even paid into Social Security, if you have a card, if you're an American citizen, the benefits are available. But you know, I have to stress, you have to make the first move. They're not going to come out there and grab you, and you know, right. Really. It's a sin that people just don't take advantage of this. It's available. That's all I want to say, man. It's an honor being on here with you guys, man. I'm with you 100%. We have to take care of the fallen warriors, man. The people who gave us the thrills of a lifetime, bro. You know, man. You know, and bro, that's what it's all about. I love boxing, but it breaks my heart. My heart goes out to see a fighter that's down and out and can't feed himself or his family and doesn't even know if he has a roof over his head the next night. So, man, you know, please get in touch with the Social Security Administration and start the ball rolling. That's
okay, but Bruce, you know, you got to have something first. You know, first something has to be built to get Social Security first. But Matt, you know,
it's built ahead and the government's been built it.
Hold on a second, Bruce.
Matt, go ahead. I'm going to go let somebody else come on here, brother.
Okay, good. Matt, you know, go ahead, Matt. You know, sometimes silence is golden, but not tonight, Matt. Go ahead and give it. Go ahead and add to the conversation.
I've heard this on and off for years and years and years. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do this. Boxers are individual, independent workers, and they're their own boss. I'm not using the right terminology, but the individual contractors. They pay no due fees. They pay no fees at all. They're entitled to nothing in return. They get paid when they fight. Other than that, don't bother me and I won't bother you. If I need you, I'll call you. So the plan has to change. Does the sport have to be unionized? Absolutely. It can mimic golf is an individual sport. Duh. Oh, tennis. That's an individual sport. Duh. It could be done, but it has to be done. And it needs funding to do it. Is the government going to do it? Do they really care about fighting? Do they care about the sport? No. Stop the sport. End it. They wouldn't care less. It's not a moneymaker. It's not like the old days. The days of Jerry, the days of Mike Tyson. Those days right now are long behind us. So who's going to fund it? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I've mulled it over with politicians. I've spoken to big politicians, and they're like, well, Matt, I can't get you the money, convince my, the population voters to give money to a boxing union. What qualifies you to get a benefit? 1 fight? How about 5 fights? Let's make it 10 fights. How about 20 fights? What qualifies you to get a union? What happens if you get hurt in the 6th fight? Or you don't want to fight anymore and you got 7 invested, you need 10. What are you going to do? You're going to go out and get knocked out 3 more times just to get the 10th year benefit? A lot of variables in this, what you're saying. It all sounds good. I'm all with you if you guys would come up with a legitimate idea, but I have not heard a solid proposition yet to this point from anybody. Not you guys, I mean anybody.
Think about it. Think about it at this point. Most of the top echelon fighters start off as amateurs.
Okay.
All of them do.
The amateur program where all of these guys start out as amateurs.
Yeah.
And when they turn pro, we first have to get where the seed is at, where the seed is planted. And this is in these amateur programs to start those type of unions and things like that for amateur sport. Is because in amateur sport, as they grow in the turning pro and then the world champion and making this money, the top echelon of fighters started out as amateurs. They've been fighting a long time and it's been their career. By the time they win the championship, they have already 20 years invested of their life into the sport of boxing.
Okay.
So you're going to tell an amateur to join the union? So as an amateur, he's joining the union.
No, the AAU is a union. That's a union. What I'm saying this here, it has to start with education. Here you guys got guys fighting for trophies, and in Olympics, and all of them guys make a pocket full of money and don't never put back into the health and the welfare of the fighter.
Amateurs do not make money.
That amateur fighter earns a penny from a crowd that's there, anything. So the abuse of the sport starts out as an amateur, and the guys get used to being abused until they turn pro and win a championship, get big money.
Aaron, hold that thought. I got a question here from the chat. Lisa Bells. She says, why can't companies like Top Rank have a union? Anybody could answer that question. Anybody.
Yeah, anybody can answer that question because they're independent contractors. They don't have to be at risk. They don't have to risk somebody getting killed or someone getting, maimed. They're independent contractors. They made it that way through the legal system years ago to protect themselves. It's big business. Boxing's big business. They don't care about the little guy because by the time the little guy is over, there's a new guy, and then there's a new guy, and meanwhile, the guy that's shot, the first of the month comes up fast. You got to pay your rent. You got to pay insurance. You got to pay your car payments. It's very overwhelming, and nobody's teaching these kids because the management keep them dumbed up because they want them to keep fighting. So the guy is 30, 35. He can't spar anymore. They think let him go. That's a crime in my mind. We have to find a way to go about to change that. And unfortunately, 98% of fighters end up broke. They can't afford to pay union dues. They can't afford it.
I'll tell you what, that could be changed. But go ahead, Richard. You wanted to say something. Richard,
I would like for it to be changed. Yes. I would definitely like for it to be changed, but how we go about doing change. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. How and how soon?
To be honest with you, let me tell you what I'm seeing right now. Just give me a second, everybody. I see puzzle. I see a puzzle in my head, and all the pieces are they scrambled up, and they're steadily coming together. And we have Matt. You've been doing it for about 20 plus years or 30 years. Jerry, you've been doing it about 20 or 30 years. When I'm talking about helping people, you have Thunder Robinson. She's been doing it for years, and Richard, I believe you have some experience too, as long as you, Aaron. All we are is pieces of a
Yeah,
puzzle. We just have to figure
I've been
out.
with Matt for like
Right. We just have to figure out how to make it work. I didn't leave you out, Major. We just have to figure out how to make it work. I see a puzzle in my head before. I had come to a brick wall and I couldn't figure out where to go. But like I said, Jared, before, I don't believe anything's impossible. Nothing's impossible. What's impossible, well, I should, yeah, what's impossible is actually trying to get everybody on the same page sometime. But once we're on the same page, think of all the lives we can save. Go ahead, Thunder. Go ahead.
Well, every fight that takes place, there should be an announcement at every fight about unionizing boxing. We got to get the word out there.
Absolutely, that's
That
a
is
great
it.
idea.
There you go.
And
That's a
and
start.
if we don't start somewhere, we're never going to start. But we got to get the word out. It cannot be a secret just amongst us. It has to be out there. The fight that's Friday night, it should be somebody walking out there talking about the unionizing
please.
of boxing. And believe me, and everybody, all of them, from the amateurs. I understand what you're saying about education, but you know that everybody's not educated to know how to do certain things. And as far as Social Security, if you don't put nothing in Social Security, you ain't getting nothing. I mean, you ain't getting enough to pay no bills. That's the bottom line. You got to work in order to put that in, just to have enough to pay your bills as time go on. I mean, too many people that's receiving Social Security, and yeah, they may need Section 8 and everything else, but they need it because they're not getting the money from Social Security. So Social Security is an idea. It is a process for that, and we can incorporate that into being in the union, that you would put money in. But all that is
Thunder. You just took my idea. Thank you.
It is everything, but everything starts with getting that word out there.
What you just said about
Thunder, listen to me for 1 second. The unions are there to make money. They're there to make money. They can't make money from these poor kids that are club fighters. The majority of fighters can't give them money. So they walk away. They want someplace where they can make a lot of money, the unions. They're not going to, it's nice to think that maybe out of the goodness of their hearts, but that's not the way life is. They want to make money. And if they cannot make money, why are they going to bother? Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying. I know, but let me tell you, just like when how the fights was during the time when you was in that ring, it was a joy to see a fight, and that's coming back. We got to make it just like the like football. It's a joy. Boxing is coming back, and it's coming back live. It's going to be a money maker, but it's about who's going to make the money. It's going to be the one at the top, or we're going to spread the joy all the way down. But it still starts with us putting together a union so that everybody get a piece of the pie. And we're not going to say everybody going to get $1,000 a month when they retire. That's not what it is. Because like you said, some fighters only have 5 fights. Some fighters only have 3 fights. So of course they're not going to get $1,000. It has to be a status set up for how much everybody's going to receive, depending on what they get in. But boxing.
Thunder, hold on. Hold on real quick. Thunder, can you read that comment for me, please?
I can't see it.
You can't see it?
No.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and read it. It says, It says actors are independent contractors. But are still in have a Scream Actors Guild. Boxers can also form something similar, and they need to follow the Hollywood labor model.
There you go. That's what I've been saying. That's it. I've been saying it for what? Yes.
Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
we have, when you talk about commissions and things like that, you know, the Muhammad Ali Act was a real act, and it's still prevalent on the books. The thing about it is how do you get the government and solicit the government in order to activate it, to put it in funds to make local commissions stand up to that Muhammad Ali Act?
How do you enforce it? That's the question?
Yeah, because the Muhammad Ali Act exposes the wrongdoing, and here's why the Muhammad Ali Act is good. You know, Muhammad Ali, when he was fighting, he was hit with the Joe Louis Tax Act. Do you know when Muhammad Ali was fighting as Cassius Clay, he earned only 10% of his money?
Yes, I do know that. I know that for a fact. Because listen, when he fought Frazier on paper, he was supposed to get 2.5 million. He took home 250,000.
Wow.
Yep.
That's boxing for you.
Now, if you get in front of them to form a Joe Louis Tax Act that takes all the money from a fighter, right? They formed the Muhammad Ali Act because of the underlining things that happen with TV contracts. Promoters use the fighters' names in order to get these expensive TV contracts.
I love you,
With
man. I love you.
Hmm.
I love you,
That's
but
true.
the majority of fighters are not that. Out of 100 fighters, 2 get the contract. 98 suffer with sparring partners and punches and punch drunk. Unfortunately, that's the game.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is the game. But on the high end of the money-making thing, promoters get the money from TV. Now, how do we solicit through the Muhammad Ali Act to get all of that, what we're talking about, in motion? The retirement, you can solicit the government to put in that Muhammad Ali Act about retirement.
Do you know what the Muhammad Ali Act is about? Do you know what it states?
Absolutely, because I helped start it.
There you go.
Okay, so what are the 3 points of the Muhammad Ali Act?
The 3 points of the Muhammad Ali Act is to protect fighters, to let them know about the TV revenue. That's what it's about.
No, the Muhammad Ali protects the rights and the welfare of the boxers. Number 2, it aids the state's boxing commissions with the oversight of boxing. And 3, it increases sportsmanship and integrity within the boxing industry. Where is what you said? I'm looking at it.
No, it's about the TV contracts. Is that a fighter has to be aware if the promoter used his name in order to get TV money. And in that, how much money is the promoter receiving in his name for the fight? Before, promoters didn't have to tell a fighter how much money they were getting from TV. All they would say, accepting and refusal, lie it down, say, here, you either want that much for fight B or C. If you don't want to do it, gone. With the Muhammad Ali Act, they had to show the contract. If they were getting $2 million, $3 million for the fight, they had to show. It leveled the playing field, but the commissions stopped and relaxed the rules and let the promoters just go by. And the fighters nowadays don't even know. Before they had to sign off when they first came out with it.
Okay.
See, now, I feel like we've all been on giving our viewpoints and how we feel, but we haven't gotten anywhere. We haven't gotten anywhere how we can help the little guy. The guy who's struggling to make his electric bill. The guy who's got a kid that's got to go to the dentist. We're not getting anywhere with that.
I was going to interject, but I said, you know what? It's not Wednesdays.
No,
or
go
not
ahead.
my day, that's Troy's day. But I was actually going to interject with
Go
that
ahead and
same
interject.
viewpoint. I don't understand. Like, we're not building. I don't see the building. You know.
Well,
I'm
I'll
looking
tell you
for
what,
you
I'm sitting
guys
here.
to teach me how to build this. So let's build. You guys are the minds here. I'm looking for you guys
tell
to
you
teach
what.
me how to build so I can help you guys as well. But for the listener, I have to be honest. For the listener, I think they might be struggling to know how we're building right now, and I would appreciate it if you guys could.
We frozen? You frozen, Major? Yeah, Major might be frozen, but I understand what he's saying. But what I'm doing,
no, I'm just saying, like, can you guys hear me?
Now we can. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just saying how we in our inner cities can help. Like, tell the common viewer, the person that's listening to this, how we can help. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Listen,
okay.
We need millions and millions of dollars to make a change. Millions of dollars. I'm just telling
before
you.
We get there, before we get there, we need a foundation, don't we?
We need millions and millions of dollars. Someone to fight for us. Some boxing people to fight for us. It takes lots of money, unfortunately.
I 100%
and that's been
agree,
since day
Jerry,
one.
But you need to have something to fight for first.
Who's going to want to do that? Who's going to want to do that first, Jerry?
Who doesn't know about the state of these affairs in the fight game? I could talk about 50 people who are struggling in some form of dementia. People feel sorry for them, even the fans. But then they move on to the next guy. They don't even defend the fighters.
But the question will always be the same as how and why. That's why we need to have something put together first before we go ask for it. I have no problem talking to congressmen. I have no problem talking to guys that have money and all that. That's not a problem for me. But I need to have something that says this is what I'm working with. Yeah. Now I don't mind. Plan. I don't mind talking to you all off air and brainstorming off air with a couple of you, and then you give me your thoughts, and I go one at a time to each of you, or we could do it like a three-way call, and I will put my brain together and I'll write something up, then I give it back to you, and you could add and take away anything you want, and that's a start. Once we finalize that, we now have a foundation. I could start going out to these congressmen. I could knock on the doors of some people who I know who are like 9 figures, 10 figures, 12 figures. They ain't gonna give me no money, but these people they actually want to help do something for something that makes sense. And this makes sense because it saves lives.
Okay.
I understand that we need millions and millions of dollars.
I hear that. But the guys gotta wanna work. They don't want to work. They don't want to work. They want it to be given to them. That's been history. That they never learned to dig into the hole and work. So they want you to give it to them, and you can't keep doing it because it doesn't work.
I tell you what, I'm gonna call you Mr. Cooney for once, right?
No, I'm Jerry.
No, but listen to what I'm about to say to you, right? Some will, some won't. So what? You find the one that you're in tune with.
There you go.
And you work with them, just like I'm in tune with you. I'm in tune with most of the cats on this panel. You find the ones that are you in tune with. Everybody else you can push off a roof. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that visual. Push them the hell off the roof.
They'll come around. They'll come around when they see it working.
I thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because they'll bounce. They will definitely bounce like a bad check. So push them off the damn roof. They're gonna bounce, and then we keep moving. All right.
Well, listen, love you guys. I got to check out, but
that's right.
Love you guys. Let's keep it going.
Jerry, before you bounce out, tell the people where they can find you and everything going on with you real quick.
You want me to give them my address and phone number? No, man, I won't do it. No, I'm on Sirius XM, channel 156, every Monday, every Friday from 12 to 2. We do a great boxing show. Randy Gordon and Jerry Cooney have been doing it for 12, 13 years now, and we talk about the real game and the fighters that are coming up and the hope. And we also talk about the struggles, because I know a lot of guys that struggle. And that Father Time catches up with us all.
Yeah.
And we have to do something, but we need to sit down at a table and to be able to really communicate this out with the lawyers, with someone who can help direct us, because we're all got great ideas, but that's where it ends.
Happen.
I tell you what, it's all going to come together. Thank you, Jerry, for your time. Thank you for your passion, man. I could always count on you to be honest and forceful and passionate. All right.
Love you, baby. See you guys.
All right,
girls.
Man. Thank you. All right, Richard Burton, you up next, sir. Go ahead, Richard. Tell the people if you have any social media where they can find you.
You're breaking up.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you're training or anybody, go ahead. Go ahead and tell the people what you're doing before we close out. Can you hear me?
It's me, right? You're talking to.
Yes, sir.
That's
I'm
you.
talking to you.
That is
You talking to
you.
me?
Yeah.
We talking to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So my
Yeah.
phone was breaking up.
No, we're
Yeah, my
talking to
phone was
Richard
breaking
Burton.
up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, that Richard Burton.
Yeah.
Well, I am training. You know, I'm training myself also. Just try to get back into shape. I got a young guy that I'm training. He's a personal trainer. I'm trying to teach him the correct way to train fighters. That's what he wants to do. So he has me out every morning. He's keeping me young. He's like 30 something years old, and you know, I'm thankful for him. And you can reach me through Matt actually, because I'm a Ring 10 board member.
There you
That's the
go.
easiest way to reach me.
And that's a
You know,
great
'cause I'm not
segue
really
to
into the I'm not really into the all that YouTube and all that other stuff and internet and
and,
stuff
and,
like that. I'm an old school guy,
and you should, yeah, that
unfortunately.
definitely. Hey, no, fortunately, because you don't want to be on here all the time like me, because you'll be crazy.
Oh man,
But
yeah, I don't really want the attention. That's what it is. Because
that's all right.
I'm fine the way I am. I'm happy. I could be better. Thank God, boxing didn't ruin me like it did a lot of guys. I mean, although I didn't make what I was supposed to make, and I'm hearing all the stuff now, and I'm seeing why I didn't make all the stuff I was supposed to make. You know, just listen to
Listen,
Jerry and listen to you guys speak. But I'm
I
glad you
gotta get
invited
you
me to
on
do
when we
it.
do an interview with you, man, so you can tell your story. But thank you for coming on, man. You'll definitely coming back
Thank
to
you
the
so much
next
for
one, which is
having
the
me.
end of the month. All right.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
You got it,
All
Thank you,
buddy.
right.
guys. Thank you, lady Miss. What's your name, Miss?
Thunder
I forget.
Robinson.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Oh,
Bye.
Likewise.
I didn't know
Bye.
you fell off, Aaron.
I got bumped off.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Aaron, you go next. You go next and give out your social media and go ahead and tell the people where they can find you and all that. And after that
Okay.
is Matt and then Miss Thunder Jackson.
You know,
Robinson, I did
I'm not gonna pay no attention to you anymore. Jackson 5. I wish I had their money.
it. Go ahead, Aaron. Yeah, if you want to give your social media out and all that, you go. Feel free to do that.
Well, you can reach us at the World Boxing Review. It's a radio show that we do every Saturday from 11 to 12. It's online. All you got to do is Google it.
It's online, as in www.world world review, or how do you go about?
Yeah, the World Boxing Review.
Is it .org or .net? What is
.com.
it? Okay.
.com. All they got to do is put the World Boxing Review in Google, and it'll come up. You can listen to the shows. You can email all of that through there. There's over 200 and some shows that you can listen to, in all different types of subjects, people, all different types of things.
Well, I tell you what I learned tonight, Aaron.
Yes.
I learned that you were ridiculous. You have a lot of knowledge. You were just ridiculous with the knowledge. So I'm going to be blowing your phone up like I do Matt's, like I do Jerry's, like I do Tommy Brooks. So when you see that 443 number, no, I don't want no money. I just want some time and knowledge. All right?
Yeah, well, we got a lot of things to get a lot of stuff done. Number one, we were very inspirational with the WBC in order to get Jack Johnson pardoned.
Okay.
With the Black Caucus.
Okay.
Black Caucus. I live in North Carolina. Butterfield, he was president with the Black Caucus from North Carolina. And who supports us in our effort is Bobby Richardson, who's the head chairperson for the Democratic Party in North Carolina.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Hold on to that. I'm gonna call you back, and we're gonna do a February show. Got me?
Okay.
All right. So hold on to that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for your time, sir, and all that powerful knowledge, Mr. Matt.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell the folks. Thank you for you coming on, because if I didn't meet you, none of this would jump off. So go ahead with your pleasant personality and tell everybody where they could reach you and what you got going on.
Well, all you can do is search Ring 10, put it in, and our website will come up. My email address is on there. I respond to everybody's emails. I respond to every fighter's needs and requests. And like I said, Ring 10 is a Band-Aid for the sport that is deeply in trouble and suffering. And I am very well educated in CTE. Dementia pugilistica is the right way to say it. Not punch drunk, not punch dementia. It's dementia pugilistica. I'm very well versed in that. I'm very well connected with a lot of doctors that are dealing with it, and I am very big on helping the sport of boxing. Unfortunately, we have no union. I don't know what the answer is. I have not found it yet. I've worked with it. I've spoken with big names, little names, and everybody that could feed me some kind of information to help the sport. But right now, we're an individual sport, and when you don't produce, you're of no use. The door's right there. Don't call me. I won't call you. That's the sport of boxing. That's got to change.
I tell you what, Matt. Next show, we're gonna dedicate that to CTE. All right.
That would be great.
Great. That's what we're gonna talk about next show. CTE. So that you come prepared for that.
I'm prepared.
All right.
I'm prepared.
All right, Miss Jermaine Thunder Robinson.
Well,
Go
you know
ahead
what? Let me first say, Matt, let me tell you, I love myself some Matt. Never met this man in person, but let me tell you, I have so much respect and nothing but honor to you, for all that you're doing. I'm getting ready to cry because I was feeling some frustration because you hearing the same stuff over and over again. But let me tell you, I believe that you do have a plan. We just got to put it together. That's all. Because you've been working at this. And all honest, all respect go to you. You have the plan. You just got to figure out how to put it down. That's all it is.
I agree.
That's it. And that's why this panel is here. I mean, like I said, you're going to put me to tears because I feel your frustration in doing this so long and haven't made that move that needs to make. But we're going to do this move together. I have faith. I have faith. I have faith in you. I have faith in Graham. I have faith in everybody that's coming together. Because number one, we're fighters. And the one thing we can do, we can fight. And sometimes we want to fight with the words. But then that's just it. We know to go in there. When you get hit, you get back up and get hit again. So we're ready. We're ready. And I have to say thank you. That my closing remarks is for thank you to Matt.
Well, thank you so much.
Truly, no problem.
So much.
I don't know how I'm supposed to. Don't know how I'm supposed to follow that without just saying.
Honoring this man here. This man is just.
Yeah.
I don't want y'all to see no tears coming down my eyes because I am a fighter too. So, but just honor this man. We're gonna make this work.
Let me say this. I would not be here doing this show if it wasn't for him. When I first got with Matt, it was supposed to be something else. It wasn't supposed to be about no union and no commission. And he asked me, hey, you ever thought about a commission or a union? I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. None whatsoever. Right? So he broke it down a little bit. I said, all right, I see the need for it. Now let's work on how. Then we worked on the show, tweaked the show a little bit. And hallelujah, here we are today. And
amen.
Next time we come on, we're going to have a foundation and we're going to have, a mission statement and a purpose and a drive as to where we're headed. We're not just going to talk. Next time we come on is CTE night, Matt. That's all you. All right. So
great.
Because, you have the forum, you have the platform for that. So bring it and think about this. Not everybody's as well versed as you. So you have to break it down for people like myself who really don't understand it.
Yeah.
Make it as simple as you can and pass it out as much, you got to give it as much information as you can. As far as the commission and the union, we have to take the same approach. We have to gain all the knowledge. Aaron, you got great thoughts. Thunder has great thoughts. Matt, you have 30 years of great experience and thought. Brother Richard, same thing. Brother Cooney, same thing. Here's what happens. We start beating our head against the wall, we get tired. That's why we take pieces and pieces and pieces and make them work. That's why God was showing me a puzzle in my head. The puzzle pieces will come together. They'll come together, and we're going to be great.
Hey, Troy, can I give you a homework assignment?
You give it to me. We'll see if I do it. Go ahead.
Did you ever see the movie Concussion with Will Smith?
No, you told me about that. You want me to go watch that?
Oh, man. That
You
is
gotta
an
see
eye
it.
opener.
Yes,
Okay,
you
cool.
got to see the
It's
movie.
gonna cost me $4, Matt, but I'll watch it. I'll go ahead and watch it.
That'll answer all your questions.
Cool.
Like I said, I've met Will Smith. I mean, the actor that, no, the doctor that Will Smith plays. I met him. I spoke with him. I'm part of his studies. I have been referred to him many times. And we talked to each other quite a bit. Dr. Amalu. That was an eye opener. And I sat there when that first went off, and I said, "Oh my gosh, that is the problem with boxers. They are not punchy. They're not punch drunk. They're suffering from CTE, the same thing football players are suffering from, but
Thank you.
10 times worse. So let's
Well,
go and fix it."
I'll tell you what, Matt. End of the
Well,
month.
I had two dear friends
Who?
died
Oh,
of
okay, that's
that.
Aaron.
You know, Frankie Randall.
What?
To watch him,
What? I didn't know
how
that.
he got in the senior living facility and all that.
Yep.
We made sure we had to go through legislature to get him in there. You know, where he's at, and he died from it in the hospital.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Muhammad Ali too.
That is correct.
We got direct, you know, with that and what they go through and what they experience. A time somebody was laugh and joy. Many people loved him to where it got to a point where he didn't even know his name or anybody around. Just
you said Frankie Randall? You said Frankie
Randall? Yes.
Yes.
How long ago did this happen?
3-4 years ago. Wasn't that long ago. I remember when he passed.
Frankie Randall.
Frankie Randall.
Frankie Randall beat
Okay.
correct?
I was mixing him up with Randall Bailey. Okay, Frankie Randall. I know exactly what you're talking about. My bad. Frankie Randall.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I didn't know that either.
Coming on a year ago.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, gentlemen and lady, thank you. I promise you promised me an hour. It's been over an hour. All of you get home safe. Well, you home safe. All you get home and get your rest and be blessed. And I shall see you the last Wednesday of the month, but you will hear from me numerous times before that. Especially you.
This was shared on Mark Nash's channel. So everybody make sure you go check out Mark Nash at 10 p.m. Mark Nash has his weekend recap. So that's MarkNash. Go check out Mark Nash Breaking the Beats, and he'll be there at 10 p.m. Appreciate the panel. Appreciate Troy Grizzy. Any other words before we shut it down?
Yeah, let me say about DJ Rebel at Organic Radio. If you're into hip hop and good discussion, Organic Radio is where you need to be. The man's a producer and a DJ, and he's worked with everyone from Santana to Wu-Tang Clan to Monique to anybody you can name. So Organic Radio, DJ Super Rebel. All right.
Bruce Goes channel. Bruce Goes also, he was on the panel earlier. Bruce Goes also opened up a channel recently, so everybody go support Bruce Goes as well. Yeah, man. So with that being said, y'all have a great night. Salute to everybody for showing up. Great energetic conversation. We love y'all, and we'll see you guys sometime this week, if not back on Major Key Monday. Peace.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bless up, everybody.